Alright, I can't seem to find that picture of the bracket that I made, so let me just try to explain it this way. I already had a bracket laying around, or a clevis, that kind of looked like this right here. It came from a lift kit for a Club Car DS. It didn't even make sense why it was in the kit. It didn't get used at all, but it was basically a C-shaped piece of metal like this, heavy steel, a little bit smaller than this bracket. This is just laying around. I have tons of just weird brackets laying around. So it was a little bit smaller than this, and it already had a threaded rod coming out of it like that. So you could make it if you had a C-shaped piece or bend a piece of metal similar to this, a little bit smaller, and drill a hole through it, put a bolt through it, and then MIG weld the threads to it if you wanted to on the front side here, and then shave off the nut on the back side because it won't be needed. You need that extra space there. So once you have that, I took my trusty little grinder here, and I shaved down all the threads to where this little nub, it was probably about ½ inch sticking out of the bracket right there. Shaved it down enough to where it would fit inside the Mcor aluminum bracket, or the Mcor 4 aluminum bracket. Either one, that's what makes it kind of different. With the Mcors and the generations of pedals, the old generation pedals didn't have a nub for that Mcor to ride on. So you need this nub sticking out for the Mcor rod to ride on. And then with this bracket right here, once I had it, let's see, fabbed up, the old generation throttle pedals have a set bolt in them pointing towards the front of the vehicle, and you could take that bolt out, and I drilled a hole in this bracket right in here. Of course I get a damn marker that doesn't mark, and then I took my little grinder there, cutoff wheel, and I pretty much just made this whole bracket a lot lower profile, and cut it right there, and just removed a lot of this extra bulk on this bracket. About that size right there, with the hole right here for that set screw to go through and lock this bracket onto the pedal assembly coming down that it rides on. And then you have the nub sticking out, which the Mcor rods will ride on, and the two pins will straddle the pedal as well and twist everything as it should, just on the newer generation, just like the newer generation of pedal assemblies. So doing this little bracket hack was better than trying to remove all those brass bushings. And anybody that knows Club Car DS bushing replacements know that it's like the biggest pain in the ass in the world to do on certain cars. It's not a 5-minute job. Something like this actually was, because like I said, I already had a clevis piece that already had a threaded bolt. I guess it was like some sort of shock mount or something like that. A little bit smaller than this guy right here. You can use your own determination on what size you need by looking at it, what you have. And then just I grinded the threads down to where it was just a nub, much like the newer generation Mcor or throttle pedals for DSs have. And then just chewed this bracket down to where I thought it was going to be substantial and useful on the old generation pedal. And the main thing is drilling that one hole for that set screw to go through to lock it onto the bottom of the pedal shaft. So I hope that clears that up and helps some of you guys with them ancient throttle pedal assemblies when you want to switch them over to Mcors. The chassis is already drilled for an Mcor. If you get the M4 conversion kit, not the full conversion kit with the bushings and all that, but just the conversion kit with the rod, the spring, and the Mcor, it kind of all holds itself together because it's riding on this rod, but you're also sandwiching the Mcor shaft between the Mcor that's bolted to the chassis and this clevis piece that's now attached to the pedal assembly. And so it's not going to go anywhere. All right, hope that helps you out.